Hello, everyone. This is Sunday, and the 8th, and I just turned the clock forward and realized I lost an hour. So one of the things I did this morning, it took me like 2 hours. I had to go through. Did I say this is the Abundance Oracle? Please subscribe. I'm trying to grow my subscriber list. One of the things that I did in this particular house that I'm running and living in now, I went through and made a list of all the income that I produce from this property, and then all the expenses that have to go along with it that are easy to know because they come with bills, et cetera, and then what the differential is between the income and the expenses. So I know now what I can do. And a part of the issue I have, if you're like me and you own houses that you live in and rent out houses that you live in, there comes a point where it's much more valuable for you to move out and rent every part of the house you're living in. So I'm in an upscale, highly upscale location, on the water, on the golf course, in a very nice town. And there's parts of the year that it would be more valuable for me to be gone and start a new project now that I've sort of completed this one. And if your family is in a house that you don't rent any part out, it's not income producing, it just sucks all your income, I invite you to look into an ADU, auxiliary dwelling unit, because a lot of places will let you put that in your attic or above your garage, or maybe as a backyard shed, and you can start bringing income in. And at first you may think, oh my gosh, this is only $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month. One bedrooms where I am at, if it's over the winter, which is off season, I got anywhere from $900 for a bedroom and bath and the use of a kitchen to $2,250 for somebody that has their own kitchen, apartment, and stuff like that. So, and that's in my guest cottage. So you can make quite a bit of money on these things and live for free. I end up living for free in a very high-end location. So it's just a thought I had, and I thought it might help someone. So I also have some notes for today. No matter how much you earn, no matter how much it is, if it's very difficult or not too difficult, you need to have excess income at the end of every month. My guess is you're always, if you're in a cycle where you say you don't have enough excess income to invest or to have excess, my guess is that it's usually been that way for you for a long time, because it's more of a spending habit and a way of living life, either trying to impress people or sometimes on rare occasions you don't have a lot of excess because you're investing into assets that also generate income, but that's more rare. If you have excess income currently, I invite you, given the situation we're in and headed towards, which will probably be more and more challenging since it looks like this is going to be much longer than we were originally expected, that you look at where you can cut some of your costs. And if you're in a family, I guarantee you there's places you can cut costs. I have my oldest daughter is getting married in May, and it's a lot of money. Okay, so those that invest now, if you're currently investing, you can have standard investments, which is brokerage accounts, 401 in stocks, mutual funds, EFTs, index funds, things like that. And usually you could start that out when you start working, when you graduate college and you get a job. And my kids, started their 401k plan when they got their first job. Usually, unfortunately, a lot of people are put on automaticity. They give you a list and say, okay, choose from these investments wherever you would like to put your long-term investments in. And usually a lot of people, and I'm just talking from experience, having been a broker and fundraiser, and I manage a small group of people that dealt with billionaires. Well, plural because there were two. So, but usually the average Joe, I'm going to call him, they give you a list of things to pick from. And what seems to happen over the years is that you pick from the list and you let it sit in whatever you picked 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I have asked many people through the years, what rate of return are you getting on this portion of your 401k or your IRA or your investments? And that's the type of look I get, sort of a blank look. We don't know. We picked it out a while ago. It is going up. We see statements every once in a while. So I invite you to be more active with your own investments and learn, especially if you're young. Learn, because you're told the system is one way and this is what you do. And I have found the people that make the most money do not follow that system at all. So you can do a little research and you'll find out doesn't matter necessarily your level of education, how you're going to do in life. If you have initiative, if you learn in ways that may not be sitting 8 hours a day in school, but you still learn and grow as a person, you can get ahead, and you can get ahead big and make a lot of money. Most of my people that I catered to were entrepreneurial. So those standard investments, I invite you to break out and learn. Those that invest in alternative investments, which was my forte, it's not typical. Often, if I moved from, downtown Boston, I was in the Morgan Stanley satellite place in Greenwich, and then I was down in near Dallas, Texas, and no one did what I did. It was shocking to me, and it's not that hard. So look into alternative investments and learn. Hard assets, income-producing real estate, like agricultural land, farmland that you rent out, or rental property where you deal with human beings, and depending upon what area you are in the country, that may be good or may not be good for you. So the hard assets right now that I think are good investments are the real estate, the agriculture, the farmland, gold, silver, metals, copper's doing well, oil's doing well. Actual businesses, if you're so inclined to be someone that wants to run your own business, 92%, I think it is, I'm quoting off the top of my head, it might be higher, of laundromats succeed. Isn't that interesting? I always find that interesting. So if you're going to invest in stocks over the next few years, I would tell my children, you want to invest in companies or build companies that have prices like energy companies, utilities without a lot of regulated returns. consumer staples like food, laundry, cleaning products, medical supplies. Look for companies that have increased their dividends for 20 years or longer. About 65 companies, and I'm rounding it, have raised their dividend every year over the last 20 years. So just look it up and see right now. It might have changed. I've been out of the business a few years, but 65 is pretty darn good. Make sure you keep some liquid money for expenses. As in liquid, I mean actual cash, not kept in the bank. We've had some we've heard of power outages, and those countries that we've caused trouble in, their banks close down and people don't have cash to pay for things. And it may take a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And when they open back up, sometimes they don't give you the same amount of money. You've earned equity. They have bailed. There's a difference between bail in and bail out. If you don't know the difference, you need to learn that. It's very important because in the United States, the banks have changed their methodology when things go bad. All right. I know, Sam, I can gab about this stuff for so long. I'm very sorry. It's 11 minutes already. This is the Abundance Oracle. Please like, and if you're so inclined, subscribe. And I'd love to hear from you what abundance means to you. In what area of life do you look for to acquire abundance? What do you already have abundance in? Maybe relationships, maybe money, maybe other hard assets. What areas do you have abundance in? A lot of friends. Or what are you short in? So I can learn what to talk about. Okay, so sorry, this is long. Love you tons. This is the Abundance Oracle. Please like and subscribe if you're not already done so. Thank you.